In today's video, I'm reviewing a 2008 Audi TT. The Audi TT was introduced to market in 1999 and is now in its third generation. This is the second generation model that ran from 2008 to 2014. The styling on the second generation model, the TT, is really a progression from what we saw in the first generation model. The overall look, dimensions, shape of the vehicle is really unchanged from that first generation model. It maintains that unique look that makes the TT stand out within the segment. The main differences that you'll note from a styling standpoint when comparing with the first generation model is that just in general it has sharper edges than that first generation. Up front, it's got a revised front end, headlight design has changed, and then you'll see that the grille grows quite a bit in dimensions. It takes on the same look that you see throughout the Audi lineup now, that front grille coming all the way down to the bottom of that front bumper. Coming around to the back of the vehicle, you'll see that the tail lights also have a much more sharp, modern look than the original TT. And then you'll see that they added this rear spoiler. This is designed to open at 75 miles an hour and then drop down at 50. Helps increase stability at higher speeds. There's also a button so that you can manually open that. But in general, the character of the TT is really unchanged from that first generation model. Still has a very sporty, upscale look to it, very unique within the segment. And then of course the fact that the TT is offered with Quattro all-wheel drive makes it a very unique offering because it can be a great vehicle for all seasons. With the Quattro system, you get a 55-45 weight balance, so not as ideal as some other sports cars within this segment, but then again, because of that Quattro all-wheel drive system, it's very capable in snow and ice, so you can drive it year-round. TT is also available in a front-wheel drive configuration, but I'd highly recommend going for the Quattro system. Gas cap's got a nice look to it. In general, the TT's got some of the same design cues that you see throughout the Audi lineup, but obviously the rear hatch, the way it slopes down so dramatically, really makes the TT stand out. You also see that the doors come up quite high relative to that steering wheel. You can see that the window opening is pretty narrow. Gives you a really unique look on the exterior of the vehicle, but it also gives you a unique feel driving it because you're really sitting down low. Feels like a very sporty vehicle. We'll go ahead and look inside the vehicle and you'll see it's got a really nice interior. Audi as a whole really creates some of the nicest interiors, if not the nicest, within the auto industry. Really high-end, very tasteful choices when it comes to materials and colors. And it's just got a really modern upscale look. You'll see that this has leather seats with Alcantara. Got a very sporty profile to them with nice cushioning on the sides to really keep you snug when you're going around corners. A little stainless steel accent on the door panel, as well as pedals around the vents, accents on the steering wheel. Nice simple look throughout. Again, lots of stainless steel, gives it a really nice look. This specific TT does have an aftermarket stereo. Personally, I like the stock stereo. It's got a really simple look to it that goes with the rest of the interior of the TT. TT does come very heavily loaded with features. So we've got power windows, power door locks, power mirrors that are also heated. Very handy again because of that Quattro all-wheel drive system. This is a vehicle you can drive on those colder days, and so heated mirrors are handy. Power seats with lumbar support. Got automatic headlights. On the steering wheel we have controls for audio and Bluetooth. See, this has the automatic transmission, climate control with heated seats for driver and front passenger. Up top we've got the ability to program up to 3 garage door openers. Some cup holders, 12-volt outlet. Overall, really nice interior with a great look to it. Now the rear seat that you get with the TT is unique because it does mean that you can get 4 people into the vehicle, but you can see it's also very tight. So not only is getting into the back seat a challenge, but once you're there, the leg and headroom is extremely limited. So this may work for a small child, but for an adult it's extremely uncomfortable. You have to sit with your head cocked to the side, legs are up against your chest. It's super tight. Kind of surprising that they even put a back seat in the TT. Now the TT is offered in a Roadster or Coupe format. When you get the Roadster format, it's only 2 seats. So you only get the 4 seats in this configuration. Now, despite the small size of the TT, once you open the rear hatch, it's actually amazingly spacious. It's got a really large cargo area that really is surprising given the dimensions of the vehicle. And then of course you can also fold down these rear seats and increase that space further. So it becomes a very practical vehicle for day-to-day use. My brother actually used to have a TT and he took his bed to college in the back of the vehicle. It's that spacious. So again, the TT really shines when it comes to functionality. It's got that all-wheel drive system, which makes it capable in snow and ice. It's got a very large cargo area, which is functional if you need to go to the grocery store, go on a road trip. Really is a functional vehicle in that sense. In addition to having either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, the TT is available with 2 different engine options. This has the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo with 200 horsepower and a 6-speed automatic transmission. That's good for 23 miles per gallon in the city and 31 miles per gallon on the highway in front-wheel drive configuration with a slight drop in all-wheel drive. And then they've also got a 3.2-liter 6-cylinder with 250 horsepower. That's paired to either a 6-speed manual or 6-speed automatic. EPA rating on that is going to be 17 to 18 miles per gallon in the city and 24 miles per gallon on the highway. The TT is a really fun vehicle to drive all around. I already mentioned that it's got a really nice interior and that Audi is one of the leaders when it comes to interior design. But again, I've got to mention that driving the TT, it just has a really nice feel to it. Not only is it very attractive with all the stainless steel accents, the combo of the leather and the Alcantara, but it just has a really unique feel to it. The kind of basic layout that we've got on the dashboard, again, I mentioned that the door panels come up really high and we've got this narrow window opening. Gives you the feel that you're in something very unique, and I love that about the TT. And then beyond just the looks and the feel of the TT, it's a really great vehicle to drive. It's a luxury vehicle, but it's also very sporty. So with that, it's very comfortable, it's very smooth, but then it's also very powerful. That 2-liter turbo really kicks in and throws you back in the seat. Still gets decent fuel economy, and then with that Quattro all-wheel drive system, handles really well around the corners. And so it's just a really great all-around vehicle to drive. I love the fact that with the TT, you get a vehicle that is really nice to drive, but it's also good in snow and ice. That's not something that you get from much of the other competition. You look at the Z3, the Z4, the Mercedes SLK that this was designed to compete with, and those vehicles are great, but you can only drive them in good weather. With the TT, you can drive in just about anything. My brother actually used to have a TT, and he would drive it over the pass, through the snow, year-round, no problem. It was a really great vehicle in all weather conditions. You don't get the clearance that you get with other vehicles, but beyond that, if you're not driving through deep snow, if the plow's been out and cleared the road and it's just icy, perfectly capable. Now, if you're looking to get into a TT and you're debating between the 4-cylinder turbo or the 3.2-liter 6-cylinder, I would encourage you to go with the 4-cylinder. It's very powerful and it still has decent fuel economy. You can see it's got a really great sound to it, and I actually like the fact that you get a little bit of turbo lag, because once that kicks in, it throws you back on the seat. Not something you get with the 3.2-liter 6, because it's a little bit more linear in that power delivery. So while this is a little bit less powerful, I actually like it more because it's still very quick and it's got better fuel economy than the 6. So that's a review of the 2008 Audi TT. Overall, really great vehicle that's definitely worth your consideration if you want to get into a sports car that's capable in all season conditions. With the optional Quattro all-wheel drive system, it's a very competent vehicle in snow and ice conditions. You still get a vehicle that has a very sporty exterior style, and it's a lot of fun to drive. The back seat is not very functional, so I wouldn't recommend it if you're looking to use those on a regular basis, but otherwise the TT is a really great vehicle overall. If you have any comments or questions on the TT, leave them in the section below. For more car reviews, subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, thanks for watching.